two more uncommon uses for baking soda. Both of them are kind of unique in a way, and I'm pretty sure most of the viewers are going to be watching this have never seen this done before, but we're going to do it today, and it's very interesting, trust me. Two uncommon uses for baking soda. Number one, cleaning paint off of hinges. If everybody knows how to paint, which I probably don't as much as I should, is we all tend to have paint that go on hinges and everything, etc. You can use chemical strippers to take them off, which is kind of like unsafe for most users and probably the environment. So baking soda is an alternative product that we can use to actually clean paint off the hinges. Now, word of note, some of the paint that we use don't actually have all the ingredients or proprietary ingredients. There's a very good possibility that if you're doing this in a house, I advise to go outside to do this process, is because the toxic chemicals that may be released from the paints that were taken off could be problematic when you're breathing inside a house. If you do it in a well-ventilated area, you got a hood, you can actually take the steam out and not breathe it in, I advise it. Number two, making cement. Making cement, yeah, out of baking soda. Here's a couple of illustrations of my cement that I made yesterday. Okay, that's what we're gonna make today also. Okay, here we go. Here's the hinge we're gonna use. A drawer hinge. This comes from a house that's approximately over 80 years old. Okay, talked about the possible chemicals that may come out of this particular paint. And it also looks, if I flip this over, almost looks like this greenish paint almost seems to be some kind of almost like gloss, almost like an epoxy to it. So I have no idea how this is going to work out. I know I've done it many times before in my business when I used to clean out old houses, do historical homes, and I would clean the hinges and the door handles and all the appliances in the door, because it's very difficult to clean with chemical strippers. Trust me, I've done it, been there, and yeah, my lungs don't like me no more because I worked with all these chemicals. But till I got smart and started using baking soda. Once I started using baking soda to clean these products, boy, what a difference it made. But I've always done it in a well-ventilated area, most of the time outside. Of course, I don't know if you guys can hear me now because I'm outside, kind of rainy on here. Here's that heat we're talking about. We'll show you how we do this. This is my baking soda. This is plain water. That's my little electric stove. Yeah, sorry, a little electric stove. Put this on top of my stove. This is going to take a long time to do. We'll turn it on full high. I'll add some water. There's no really specific ingredients how much water you should put in. You got to put enough water to get this covered. Okay, just to cover my hand. That's all I really need. A little extra because it's going to want to evaporate in time. You may have to add a little bit more water. Baking soda, you can. I'm just going to throw it in here just because it's not really critical. And that's it. Now we have the long waiting for paint to dry episode, but we're not going to stay here that long. We're going to leave this cook, and then when it's ready and boiling and steaming, it'll probably have to cook for at least probably 20 minutes, give or take, because of the hinge. Not the hinge, but the drawer handle. So it's going to take a little bit more time because of the thick paint, probably epoxy. So I'm assuming it's going to have to at least boil for at least 10 to 15 minutes. We'll come back and check on this later. While we're waiting for the baking soda to do its job outside and boiling, I think it's almost that it's starting to boil now. But we're going to take this opportunity right now to talk about part two of my little video here that we're making. My goal I've always had since I can't remember how old I was, but I'm not going to give that away. But anyhow, the goal was to make clean cement. That's actually very challenging. I mean, depending what you consider clean. People consider clean going to the landfill, taking garbage out of the landfill and making cements with it. They consider it clean because they're saving the environment from toxic waste that we have in the environment that's inside our landfills and putting it into our cement, and then therefore we're putting it into our house. I'm not that big fan, but look, hey, it works, right? We get rid of our garbage. So I decided to work with some NGO. Okay, it's ancient history, blah, blah, blah. But NGO, I love that cement. Now, the way we set NGO up now is with chlorides. I am obviously not a big fan of chlorides. There's a reason behind that reason I don't like chloride. Think of chloride as that one person in your life that just kind of sticks to everything that they start to stick to people, and then people stick to them. It's all good, but the point I'm making is chloride has the same ability. That chloride tends to stick to a lot of things, so it makes a lot of different products. It sets up MgO, it makes that famous mustard gas, there's a lot of problems with the chloride because of the ability it has to attach to a lot of things. Why it makes a great cement paste? Because of its ability to bind. I didn't like it. So, leads me to the baking soda. How I use baking soda. The reason behind the baking soda, instead of using landfill materials, I figured why, oh, look at this. Duh. I like to, too funny. I like to use, sorry about that, I'll try. I like to use the baking soda because I can take this carbon, CO2, okay, so I'm making the actual setting agent. The baking soda supplies me with the CO2. Now, I can get CO2 from the air, which is what I was trying to do. So I put a product together, a foaming agent, and a little bit of phosphoric acid, and that's all I use. Now, with that thought in mind, the phosphoric acid, okay, is going to react with the baking soda and give me the CO2 I'm looking for. I tried so hard to use the regular CO2 in the atmosphere to make the product, but I just couldn't get enough CO2 out of the air. At least in the formula in the cement. I can get it from the outside by just making a paste, and I'll get these crystals, but it takes time to grow. I needed the crystals inside the cement. But when I did this, I didn't realize at the time that it's actually going to make a great insulator, because I had to use so much air from the atmosphere, and because I'm trying to achieve is get that CO2 from the air, which I thought there was a lot more from height, but I didn't realize there was not enough CO2. So that's how come baking soda became another unique use that they don't know about yet. If you come a little bit closer here, you can see I just took it from outside, just ran in here, so I'm a little out of breath, I'm sorry. It's raining outside today, kind of cold. I've been boiling this now for 10 minutes or less. This is actually very hot. You can see the paint's already starting to peel off of it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get myself ready here real quick. I usually use an SOS pad, but I'm only gonna have this for now. I'm gonna take this piece back out of here. I'd like to cool it off a little bit because I don't have the right gloves on, so I'm just gonna kind of put it here for now. I'm gonna let this cool off just a little bit, and while my camera guy is showing you around here a little bit, I'm just gonna get another pair of gloves on with these rubber plastic ones I have. I'm gonna put another one on so I can hold this. Okay, I'm back. Hi. So here we go. This one's a little, same rubber, just a little bit different glove, but it'll allow me to hold this piece. And we're just gonna see if you can watch me do this. This is not an SOS pad, this is just a regular pad. Okay? It's not gonna be super easy, but it's not gonna be that crazy hard. As you can see, we're starting to get all the paint off. Okay? You know, an SOS pad, the steel wool, works a little bit better. It's got a little bit more grip. Okay? Here's the paint I was worried about. The epoxy, or at least I think it was. But it seems to be some kind of, I don't know, green paint, I guess. I thought it was an epoxy. Of course, you just want to rub it off. Okay? And if you find a place where it gets really difficult and you can't get it all off, don't worry about it. You can always put it back inside the water. But it softens up the paint. It's not toxic anymore. You know, all the toxicity is steaming out of here, which I'm going to get this pot out of here because I'm getting a little bit, could be a little concerning. But a little more patience, a little bit more work. And here we go. Cheese.
Well, what do you want? Okay.
Yeah, sorry about the little bit of a cut of action. I just wanted to get rid of the water in here. My camera guy will not come a little bit closer here. You can see when you're using a pot, it's gonna have, you know, blah blah blah, some debris, and you want to use an old pot. Don't use your good kitchen pots, because you know you will eventually. But I did get rid of the water because I could, you know, it was fuming and I didn't like the smell of it, so I got rid of it. But while I was doing that, I was finished cleaning this up. You know, I wish I would have had a little bit better brittle pad. This is just basically a sponge that you use to kind of clean your cards with. It's really just fabric. But just with this, it's not abrasive. But yeah, I was able to clean it. The inside where I thought there was some epoxy, it came out, you know, fairly good. I got a little bit still left in here, which I got to work on. I didn't try. I got rid of my little bit of solutions that we had, was basically baking soda. That's all it was, nothing else. Well, obviously, I think you guys get the general idea what I'm trying to achieve, but considering what it started with to where we are right now, I think it's pretty awesome. And I can still breathe, except when I ran from outside, but yeah.